Hey guys, welcome back. Before I get started, you just have to see how cute Six Toe is laying here. Look at him. Oh, he's so cute. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to go over, I feel like I have to whisper because he's sleeping, but he's fine. But today I want to go over my September favorites, or my favorite plants that have just been really popping out to me, especially over this last month, and really over these last like 2 weeks since I had my surgery. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Sorry, you can't start licking. Oh yeah, if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. And if you like this channel, please subscribe. And I put out videos every single week, so you don't wanna miss them. Okay, I don't have a ton of plants to show you today. A part of that might just be because it's really difficult for me to gather plants together, sir. Just because you do it slowly doesn't mean you're not doing it. But it's just been really hard for me to gather plants together. Being on crutches or with my little knee scooter or just like scooching around on my butt, which I'm not gonna lie, I did scooch up and down the stairs on my butt two times to get some things from upstairs downstairs to film this video. But yeah, so I just have a handful of plants to show you guys today, but I'm really excited to show them to you because they are just, in my opinion, so beautiful, and I'm just excited to share them with you. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't have anything in any particular order or anything like that. They're just all beautiful to me. So let me just kind of tell you a little bit about each one and why they've been calling out to me. So this first little cutie, I'm sorry if I'm looking in the viewfinder a lot, I'm just like trying to see if the plant is semi in frame and semi in focus here. But this is my beautiful little Philodendron Campo Sportuanum, or just Campo if you want to go by its little nickname. But look at the emergent leaf colors on here. Look at how beautiful that is. They're like a maroonish kind of pinkish color with that green veining, and then they fade to that like really beautiful dark green color. And then these will eventually, once the leaves start getting more mature here, they will start turning into a different shape. I'll pop a picture up over here so that you can see what I'm talking about by that different shape. It gets like kind of lobe-y, if I'm remembering correctly, and they're just so stinking cute. So I'm really excited for that shape to happen. But honestly, if this little guy just like takes its sweet time getting to that shape, I don't really mind, because I don't know, I love the shape of this leaf. It's almost a heart-shaped leaf. What? It's almost a heart. Whoa, come on, words. It's almost a heart-shaped leaf. There we go. But it's like a little bit more round and chubby, and I love how kind of like wide it gets down here. That's so stinking cute. And hopefully I can show you here. I'm gonna have to direct these guys to the correct area. Let me put the little thing down. He clearly is like probably ready for a larger a larger pot here. He's not well supported. I have him like leaned up kind of in the cabinet. He is in my Millsbo greenhouse cabinet, just so you guys know. So he is getting pretty optimal conditions. I would say it stays around 60 to 65% humidity in there, and it's pretty close to a grow light as well. But what I wanted to show you before I went off on that tangent, because I mean, that should be my middle name, is Tangent. But I've got these really cool long, and my microphone flipped in my shirt, so the sound is all funky here, but I am just showing you this beautiful aerial root, and then slowly but surely discovering another aerial root. Okay, so we've got, I'm gonna put my finger right there so I don't lose it because I can't see. We've got a little kind of more brown looking root right there. It's a little bit older. And then just the beginnings of a little aerial root right there. Sir? He's just like slowly licking while keeping direct eye contact with me. Like, nah, dude, that's not cool. Don't do that. I love you. Okay. I got rejected. No kisses for me. It's because I'm yelling at him. But anyway, yeah, I love this little plant. I do feel like he was pretty slow to get started. I've had him for a while, and it was just a little too, I think it was a 2-leaf cutting or something like that. Maybe 3, max 3 leaves on here when I got it. So, and I've had it for quite a while. I want to say like at least 3 or 4 months. But I will try and find a picture actually of when I first got this plant, because I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it. we'll see. If I did, I'll put it up here with like the date of around when I got it. But yeah, it took a while to get going, but it's really just started going. Oh, snap. Okay, look, we've got more aerial roots. I'm having a really hard time saying that, but do you see that there? And then if I turn it around, there's another one. It's like wrapping or trying to wrap around just like the wood part that's like the center. And again, look at that emergent leaf color. Like, what the heck? Could you be any cuter? Oh, my microphone keeps flipping into my shirt collar because this is an older shirt, but I need to go shopping. Anyway, what was I even saying? Oh boy. Care. That's what it was. Care. So yeah, I already told you he lives in my cabinet, so you know kind of the environment that he lives in. But and he's in a very, very small pot because, like I said, he seems to be very slow to root. Like, I don't even see any roots growing out of the bottom of the pot or anything like that. So yeah, he seems to be slow to root, but easy to care for, I will say, because it is a philodendron. It kind of reminds me of like a micans, but just a slower growing micans. So I have a feeling that, like the micans, once it really gets going and gets established and gets like a chunkier root system, it'll probably really start taking off. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I don't feel like I hear that many people talking about the Campo, so I'm not totally sure like what to expect as far as how quickly it's going to grow or anything like that. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it so far. I water it when it gets really dry, and I do let it get pretty darn dry. It's already in, like I said, a teeny tiny pot, so it gets dry pretty quickly anyway. But yeah, really easy care, philodendron. I guess I don't really have that much more to say about it other than that. If you've been looking for one of these, I do feel like the prices have been coming down quite a lot. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for a cute little Campo in your area. I scored this little guy off of a Facebook market group. Facebook Marketplace group. Is that right? You know what I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about this little guy because I'm getting all tongue twisted, but cute little Campo. Good Lord. Okay. I'm just gonna put you back in here because I don't trust you. I don't trust you to not fall over. Okay. Whew. I don't know what it is. I'm having such a tongue twisty day today, so I apologize. I feel like this video is going to take forever, even though there's not many plants, just because it's so hard for me to get my words out. Whew. Okay, I'm going to drink some water here. Oh God, buddy, you are so sweet. Are you kidding? Look at that little face right there. Oh, wow. Wow. Let's have his little butt in the frame. There we go. Cute little boy butt. Okay. Maybe it's not so cute. Maybe we'll just have it just barely in there. We'll just go like that. Okay, there we go. All right, what do I want to show you next? Ooh, okay. Let me show you this guy. So this beautiful baby is my Philodendron Brazil. Now, I have a couple of these. I have like a ginormous one that I keep upstairs for right now, at least. I'm not really sure where to keep him. But this one in particular has just been really calling to me lately. And I think it's because of how just like bouncy it looks. So this guy hangs up just right next to me here, next to the cabinet. And I mean, I've been spending a lot of time in my living room, of course, since I had my foot surgery. Wow, I was gonna say soot surgery. You guys wouldn't know what I meant though. But yeah, I've been spending a lot of time in my living room. So I just get to like, you know, watch this guy all day. And sometimes like if I have the windows open or something, he'll get kind of caught by the breeze and he'll just kind of like jiggle around a little bit. And it's so stinking cute. And it's just grown so much lately. Oh my God, are my armpits sweaty? Don't look. But it's grown so much and I'm just so pleased with it. I love this plant. I always have a hard time passing by and like not at least physically picking it up, but like really have a hard time not buying Philodendron Brazils when I'm walking around in the store. Like I'm 100% going to pick it up and like touch a leaf or like do something with it, show my boyfriend or do whatever. But it's just so beautiful. Like if I could have just an entire wall in my house one day, just completely filled of Philodendron Brazil, how beautiful would that be? Like, what? Oh my gosh. One day, you guys, maybe. We have a lot of aspirations for our one day house. We're still renting currently, but one day, you know, we've been talking about buying a house for years and years, so it's bound to happen one of these days. But look at this beauty. Okay, so anyway, Philodendron Brazil, like, I mean, what do you even have to say about her? She just kind of speaks for herself as far as the beauty goes. I love that the green on green variegation is just so varied in each leaf and the shape too. So like, look at this one. This is just like a perfect little heart shaped leaf. I said it. I'm not going to say it again, but you heard me. And then we've got really like weird elongated ones. I saw a really fun one earlier. Where'd it go? Oh, this little cutie. Look at him. Okay, wait. Look at that. How cute. That's like a teardrop shape almost. Just so beautiful. So yeah, I can't get enough. And look at that leaf. That's like an older leaf too, and it's still so pretty. And it just like is always bushy from the top. This is one of those trailing plants that you never ever have to worry about looking sparse on top. Like it's just not gonna happen unless you super, super neglect it, which I'm not gonna lie. He's ready for a repot. He feels pretty like tight in here. He gets dry whacked me. Gets dry very frequently. So like I'm not taking like the best care of this plant. He could definitely use a larger pot and be able to stay more moist for longer. But it's just, you know, unless you're super, super neglecting this plant and you forget about it for like a month or something like that, you're probably not gonna have an issue with having sparse, you know, upper parts of this guy. I actually feel like, is this wrapped around? Did I do that? Oh no. I'm gonna be totally lying to you. I am. Is this all a charade? Did I do this? Okay, full disclosure, it looks like I have draped some of the vines up and around here, so it's not like as full as it appears, but still, I'm sticking with my statements. It's usually not gonna get sparse on the top. I've never had it happen, to be totally honest with you. So yeah, and if you do find that it's getting sparse on top, you can wait till they start trailing down long enough and then flip it back up top, and then it'll start growing again, and it'll look like it's growing from the top, and then it'll start draping down all over again, and it's just like this fun little weird cycle that you could have going on. Oh my God, that's so funny. I can't believe I didn't remember that I did that. I like vaguely remember doing that, but okay. Anyway, before I move on to the next plant, I just want to show you this little leaf here. Look at that. Okay, let me just make sure. Did I go over everything I wanted to as far as care and all that jazz? I think so. Water it when it's dry, give it bright indirect light. I feel like that's what pretty much all plants are gonna appreciate, is bright indirect light. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I feel like that's a good, safe bet for pretty much all plants. Like, if anything, they might not like that much light and they'll get like a little bit crispy, and then you just like pull it back a little bit. That's kind of what I would recommend when you get a new plant. If you're really unsure about it and you're getting like different, you know, people saying different things about like what kind of light it needs, you know, from different sources or whatever, like you're not finding like an overall consensus for what kind of light the particular plant you're looking for needs, then just kind of like test it out a little bit, start closer to the light because that's most likely going to be what it wants, and then just kind of listen to what your plant says. But yeah, I keep this particular one pretty close to both natural light sources and artificial light sources, so I think that is why he is so happy looking. Because like I said, I am not the best about watering him exactly when he's ready. Like the leaves sometimes will not only be curly, but they'll feel like, oh, my dog's snoring. Not this one here, but my girl. She's so cute. She's dreaming. But yeah, the leaves will like not only be kind of like curled in, but they feel like so thin and like they're gonna just like melt or like wither away. It's so strange, but as soon as you give it a good sip of water and the roots have time to like kind of really soak that in, then the leaves just like plump back up. Like it's like magic. It's so crazy. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. Philodendron Brazil. I feel like it's a staple. Everyone needs one of these, even if you're not into plants. Like, you gonna be into this plant. I mean, come on, hello, look at her. All right, so let me show you this guy here behind me next. So these are actually cuttings, and I have the main plant of this plant as well, but the cuttings are what really have been just like keeping me drawn to going upstairs and like checking out the plants in my plant room, especially like after having surgery and like not wanting to move around as much. These are like one of the things that really made me want to like get up and go in there and check on them. So they are these beautiful guys here. They're gonna be really hard for me to get in frame. So this is my Philodendron giganteum. Now, there are a couple of Periso Verde cuttings in here. Ignore those. We love her, but we're not talking about her today. But well, how do I even do this? How do I do? Okay. There we go. That's pretty okay. So yeah, Philodendron giganteum. I love this plant. I feel like I've talked about this plant a lot lately, so if you're sick of hearing about her, I'm sorry. But she's so pretty. How could you be mad? Look at those leaves. They're just insane. And I cut these, I took these cuttings. I need to put some more water in here clearly because we're tipping out. But I took these cuttings I took them right before surgery, so I want to say just about 2 weeks ago. And you can see where like the aerial roots were. Let me set that guy down. So you can see where like the chunky aerial roots initially were here, but look at all of that new root growth. In 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Like, are you for real? Look at that. And it's not a fluke, it's all of them. Okay, let me find another one. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Oh, sorry, buddy. I whacked Six Toe with a giant leaf. Okay, first off, the leaf itself, like, hello? She is so pretty. It's so big. I just love a pillowy leaf. Like, oh, wow. Okay, but then, oh, wrong way. Look at all of those roots. Is it focusing? I can't tell. I'm gonna try and put it in front of my face here. Look at those. Are you kidding me? Ah! Like this is gonna be ready to be potted up within like a week, I feel like. You know, I'm probably gonna give it like 2 or 3 weeks just because that's how I do it. But like, it's gonna be ready very, very soon. They're so pretty. I just can't get enough. Okay, let me show you another one just cause. Just cause I can. And then how many cuttings did I take? 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like so much more than that. Yeah, it looks like I took 4 cuttings of this guy. And I took these cuttings initially because the plant was just getting really lanky and long. And I think it's because it's too far away from a natural light source or a good artificial light source. The lights that I have, the artificial lighting that I'm using right now for this particular plant, for the, not the Periso Verde, excuse me, but for the giganteum is, it's not a great light. I gotta be totally honest with you. I didn't buy it. I was gifted it from a friend when he was moving. So it was so, so kind of him. And I like really needed grow lights at that point. So you know I was gonna take them. He was moving. He didn't want to bring them with. So I was so, so grateful for that and still am, of course. But, oh, it feels so floppy. But yeah, they're just not the best grow lights. They're just not. They're not, you know, meant for a plant to be like as far away as this plant is. You know, it would really work best if I was just using it on a shelf, you know, to just illuminate a shelf and maybe grow like propagations or something like that. That would probably actually work really well. But this plant, not the cuttings are sitting in direct sunlight or pretty direct sunlight, but the mother plant for this guy sits about 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet away from the not so great grow light. So it just was getting really leggy looking for that sunlight before it pushed out a new leaf. Granted, obviously the leaves were beautiful and giant. Oh, I didn't even show you the roots on this one. Look at that. But yeah, just not the best looking. I wanted it to be a little bit more compact looking. So in a couple weeks here, or whenever I feel like it, I'm gonna go ahead and pot all of these cuttings up with my mother plant so that it's just this big bushy philodendron giganteum that will eventually have like a bunch of growth points coming out of it, which will be so cool. Oh, I feel like it's gonna grow really, really fast and then I'm not gonna know what to do with it. I'm just gonna have to keep cutting it, but that's okay because then I can just like, you know, use those cuttings to trade for other plants that I want that are like smaller and more manageable for my space, or you know, do whatever with them. I'm sorry, buddy. The leaf's hitting him, but he doesn't seem to mind. I'm actually gonna pour, got my water bottle here. I'm gonna, oh, and I have the foliage fix sticker on there. That's Harli G's, that's just me, bud, don't worry. That's Harli G's plant shop, the foliage fix. I've ordered, I think, just one plant from her, one of my first Cebu blues, and it's still kicking and doing fantastic. So her plants are beautiful. So anyway, yeah, the philodendron giganteum has just been, it's one of the 3 top plants that have been really drawing me to go upstairs and just like make sure that the water levels are good, to see how the roots are doing, make sure we're not getting any rot. I haven't had any rot with these propagations at all. Like, knock on wood, I'm not jinxing myself or anything like that, but no rot at all so far, and everything has just been doing so well. Oh my gosh, I just noticed too. This is, oh, I guess, am I surprised? Should I be surprised by this? I don't even know. I kind of am. It's rooting like all the way up here, like as if there's another node right here, but there's not. Is that normal? Am I tripping? I feel like that's not normal. That's really cool. Wow. But yeah, the philodendron giganteum is just one of those philodendron. Again, I feel like I'm showing a lot of philodendron today. Am I? I kind of am, but I love philodendron. They're such easy care plants, and this one really is like a true testament to that. Like, this is such an easy care plant. Like, it's wild. And again, I haven't had this plant for that long, and this, I mean, I guess the name makes sense. You, sir, you earned your name. It's just so cool. Such an easy care plant. I don't like to let it get too crazy dried out because the leaves are a little bit thinner. And because of that too, I also try not to like super overwater it because I feel like that will just make the leaves get the, like, what's that called? Edemia or something like that, where there's like pockets of water in the leaves and then eventually it like pops or evaporates and then it looks all weird and funky and it's not great. So to avoid that, I just kind of wait for like that top few inches of soil, because this is in a pretty big pot. It's in like a 3-gallon pot or something. So I wait for the first top few inches of soil to be pretty dry, and then I'll go ahead and give it a thorough watering. And I just like to make sure that it's not sitting in water in like the saucer or the pot that it's in or whatever. So I'll just like check the next day or something, and if there's still water left over in the catch pot that this main mother plant is sitting in, then I'll just go ahead and dump it out so that it's not getting any root rot or anything like that. So yeah, super, super easy care plant. I would say this guy definitely likes bright indirect light. Like I said, he was getting really leggy, not having the kind of light that he wanted. So that's kind of the risk that you take if you give him lower light than he really is looking for. He's gonna get really long and leggy, which is still, it's beautiful. It's like a giant tree, but it just wasn't the look that I was going for my space, and it was honestly gonna reach my ceiling way too quickly, so I had to just put the kibosh on that. So yeah, philodendron giganteum, so beautiful. Wow. Okay, let me carefully try to put him back in here with his friends without breaking any of the nodes off of here. So I have 3 plants left to show you. 2 of them are actually living together and not in the same pot, but you'll see. And then the other one is big. So I'll have to like adjust myself to show you the last one here. So let's get into these 2. These are the other 2 plants that have just been really drawing my attention upstairs to my plant room since having surgery, and just like really getting me up there to like do that plant care and make sure everyone's looking good. So it is these 2 guys here. We'll go over them individually, but this is how they live here. And they live pretty darn close. I would say they're probably about 4 feet away from, what is that? 4 feet away from a western facing window. So they're getting pretty good light. And again, it's that like pretty harsh evening sunlight. So it's pretty strong when it comes through the window. So what I want to show you first, let's do this one. Ah! I am still just like in such awe of this plant. So this is my Levoit species Real. She's so beautiful. Are you kidding? Oh my God. Okay, so this plant was so kindly sent to me by the people over at Aroid Market, and it's just been growing so beautifully. Okay, can we talk about the color variation in the leaves? This is why this is my like one of my top favorite plants, like 100% top favorite plants. It's so beautiful. It's like a freaking rainbow. It kind of reminds me of a rainbow fish, actually. I've been watching a lot of you know, I've been doing a lot of scrolling since my surgery on like, you know, Instagram, what is it, Instagram Reels, and what's the YouTube one? YouTube Shorts or Stories or something like that. And I've been watching a lot of like underwater things. I'm such a water baby, so I love watching stuff like that. Like, oh, especially like shark things, you know? Like people like, you know, professionals having shark encounters and stuff like that. It gives me like a lot of anxiety, but it's just so beautiful and so cool to see. But anyway, wow, the queen of tangents, my God. But yeah, I saw something about, hi buddy, about like rainbow fish or something recently, and they're just so beautiful. Like what the heck? Fish are so cool. But anyway, this kind of reminds me of the rainbow fish because it is just, it's like every color you could imagine and like want and think of. Like what the heck? Okay, so this is the newest leaf here. It is still growing, so I think it will probably be at least as big as these other 2. So it still has some growing to do, and it's a little bit of a lighter color too. It'll kind of settle in. Let's see if I can get that focused. It'll settle in to that kind of, uh-oh, buddy. Uh-oh, lift your paw, bud. Oh, buddy. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. You're okay. Oh, he got his paw stuck on the cord for my light. Poor boy. He feels bad. You're okay, bud. Hi. You're okay. Hi, handsome. We're telling people about plants. Hi. You're so sweet, bub. Okay. Can you lift your head up a little bit? Oh, there's a cute boy. Oh, oh God. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So yes, the Levoit species Real. Oh. So yeah. Oh, you're good. Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is a plant that I wanted for such a long time, and one that my boyfriend wanted for a really long time as well. And it's just so beautiful. It is more of a like terrarium plant. So it does like really high humidity. So that's why it lives under the dome here. And as soon as I'm done talking about it, it's gonna go right back under the dome. I like to keep it at around 90 to 95% humidity. So I keep it up there. Like if it gets below 90, I'm gonna close the little vents on top of the lid here. You can see those there. I'll close those over a little bit more if I feel like it needs a little bit more humidity, or I'll open them up a little bit if I feel like it needs a little bit less, because sometimes like after watering or something like that, it'll be like up to 100 plus, you know, the little thing doesn't tell me past 100%. So yeah, I will go ahead and open it up if it gets too high as well, but it's just grown so well for me. I just can't believe it. Look at how beautiful. Oh my gosh. And I have to say, I was terrified of this plant because it is a terrarium plant and I know that it likes high humidity. I was so scared of getting this plant and just like doing it dirty because like how devastating would that be if that beautiful thing died? Are you kidding me? Oh, it's so pretty. Now I do have like the oldest leaf is like teeny tiny and crispy. Can you see that there? That's a leaf that it came with down here. But that doesn't concern me at all because it is the oldest leaf. So I feel like that's just natural, but it's been rooting beautifully. It's probably ready for a new home, honestly. And it looks like I could definitely rinse it with like hydrogen peroxide or something because I have some good algae buildup. But other than that, it's just been, it doesn't need anything. It's such an easy plant and it is so easy because I keep it under the dome and I just don't have to ever worry about it because it keeps the humidity so high. Therefore, the sphagnum moss, which is what it's planted in, it's just planted in a mixture of mostly sphagnum moss, a little bit of perlite, and a little bit of these like essentially leca balls, but mostly sphagnum moss. And because of that, I don't need to water it hardly ever. I water it probably once every 2 weeks. Maybe week and a half, I'll check on it or something like that. But yeah, it's been a while since I watered it. And honestly, I'm surprised at how damp the sphagnum still is because it's been a minute, but it doesn't need anything. And it just grows. Like it surprised me with this newest leaf too. I just realized that like last week and I'm so excited. Like what the heck? Did that pop out like while I was having surgery? Thank you, sir. Oh, it's so pretty. And if you're wondering, it is as soft as it looks. Like, oh, it's just so beautiful. Okay, let me show you this other leaf one more time because it's so pink. Oh, so pretty. And then this one has that like bright green. Wow. Okay. All right, we'll move on. Lobesia species Riau. If you haven't heard of this one, or if you have been unsure if it's like a plant that is worth it, I feel like it's worth it. It's so easy, especially if you keep it in a terrarium like it wants, then it will do well for you and you don't really have to do anything to like make it happen. You know, it'll start doing its thing. So yeah, I love it. You're so pretty. Okay. And then the other little guy that lives in there that is the other reason that I've been just like so drawn to going up there, that's just been like, just taking my breath away every time I look at it, because if I'm totally honest, this is a plant that I think because it was so hyped up, I didn't want to jump on the hype train, you know what I mean? We've talked about this. And I just kind of like denied that I wanted this plant. And then I got offered it through a trade through one of my coworkers quite a while ago now. So it's not huge, but it was just a node essentially when I got it, I think with like a couple teeny tiny leaves. And it stays in the same area, getting these same exact conditions and care as the Lobesia species Riau. So it is getting like very, very high humidity, really good light next to that window there. And I think it's kind of ideal conditions for this plant, which is a little unfortunate because I don't know what I'm gonna do when it gets too big to be able to stay in this thing. But if we, you know, go by how large this thing is, it's gonna take a while. Now let me tell you what it is finally. This is my Philodendron Pink Princess, and it is just so pretty. Look at that newest leaf. There's some really pretty pink chunks on it. And just, I mean, I think that every leaf on here is just so pretty. Like, what the heck? And like this little guy, oh, it's so cute. I feel like, yeah, I want to say this newest leaf probably has the best variegation out of all of the leaves on here so far. Now I say all of the leaves like there's a bunch. I mean, there's a handful, but I mean, I'm not trying to say this is a giant plant by any means. I know this is a very small specimen, but I'm just so pleased with it. And are you ready for a repot? Can I see? Oh, please don't break. Please don't break. Can we do this? Okay, so he might be ready for a repot soon. We've got a good amount of root happening there. Hopefully you can kind of see. And, well, I don't know. I'm gonna let him stay for a little longer in this little pot that he's in. It's really just like a little teeny tiny cup. But yeah, Philodendron Pink Princess. I'm not gonna go over care because I just went over all of what it's been getting with that Lebesia species Riau. It's literally been getting all of the same care. I feel like I don't hear about Pink Princess getting that type of like terrarium style care, but I don't know, he's been really enjoying it, so I'm just not asking questions and I'm just gonna be happy that it's happening because it is so pretty. Oh, and I gotta say too, I don't feel like I am usually like the biggest fan of pink plants. Like that's not totally my jam, but I can get down with this. That is so pretty. What? And like the stems are pink. Oh, but that pink variegation just kills me. And I really, really like the way that the leaves look when they've hardened off with the pink too, like this leaf. I feel like it's hard to show you because of how like shiny it is. There we go. But, oh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Philodendron Pink Princess. I gotta say it, and I hate to say it, it's worth the hype. But I have been seeing tons and tons and tons of places, and when I say places, I mean like big box stores, getting in Philodendron Pink Princess for like under $20. So keep your eye out. I feel like a lot of them have been pretty low variegation, at least to start. But I will say that I have been seeing posts and stuff just on like my local buy-sell trade groups or local like big box store plant watch groups and stuff like that, that once people get them home and they start giving them that really nice bright light, that some of them do start pushing out really beautifully variegated leaves. So it might be worth the risk if you see one that's like really low variegation. I wouldn't probably grab one that's no variegation personally. I don't know. Unless you just like the look of that plant, of course, then you do you, and if you like it, then you get it, obviously. But yeah, I just personally wouldn't expect that if it had absolutely no variegation that it would come back once it got into my home. But if it had like a little something something, I would assume that you could get some stuff out of there. Because like, I don't know, these little leaves down here, the like little baby leaves that it came with, I'm pretty sure, they weren't terribly variegated, right? I don't know. And I guess like this leaf isn't very variegated. I don't know what I'm talking about, you guys. I feel like it's so random. And with this plant, I don't really know if it's just like genetics or conditions or what. I'm really not sure. I'm just kind of saying things now. I don't really know, but I love this plant. I think it is totally worth a try, especially if you really, really like pink variegation, then you're probably gonna love this plant. Because like I said, even me as someone who isn't totally crazy about pink variegation necessarily, I think it is just so beautiful and it's so fun to watch. I'm coming to the realization too that I don't have very many variegated plants in my collection, which is absolutely fine. I feel like I've been really focusing, especially getting into more rare plants, really focusing on bringing those like staple in my mind rare or uncommon plants that I've just been really, really like lusting over for years. Been really focusing on trying to get those plants into my home first. And with the exception of like the MONSTERA Thai Constellation and the MONSTERA Albo, you know, there's not been a ton of like variegated plants on my like major wish list. You know what I'm saying? That's changing now. There's definitely been some variegated plants added to my like mental wish list. I don't know if I've added them to my physical wish list yet, but they're in there. I want them. But yeah, as like, you know, being a variegated plant for that Pink Princess, it's just so fun to watch and see what each new leaf is going to look like. And it's just fun. I love it. Okay, how am I going to show you this next plant? I'm going to have to get myself reset up here, so we'll be back. Woofda. All right, so the last plant that I want to talk to you guys about today is my Monstera deliciosa. Oh my goodness. I feel like this plant and I have just like, oh, do you have another sneeze coming? Excuse me. But I feel like this plant and I have just been like connecting lately. Like, I don't know what it is. Again, probably just because I've been spending so much time in my living room lately, and this guy is just a freaking beast that's been taking over the entire space. And I just love him. I love him so much. He is in, I don't know if you can see all of these aerial roots, all of these many aerial roots, dangling it down onto the carpet, trying to worm their way through like the section in between my carpet and my wall. Look out for that if you have an unwily Monstera deliciosa. But yeah, he's just been growing like crazy, and I just can't get enough of this plant. I love it so much. And I know that it is like a more basic plant. What was this? Backwards. A more basic plant, but it's just, it's amazing. I feel like if you are a plant lover and you don't have this plant because you, I don't know, you're like me and you didn't want to jump on the hype train or whatever, you might need one. You might need one, okay? They're just amazing. It's such an easy care plant. Oh my God, it's so easy. Like, I literally have nothing to say for it care-wise. I've had this in so many different areas, getting so many different levels of light. I will say I have always tried to keep it pretty darn close to a natural light source, meaning a window, obviously. But yeah, I mean, as long as he's not too crazy far away from the light, at least for me, he's not had any issues. And it's just a beast. I feel like I am getting some yellowing on some of these large leaves here, just a little bit around the edges. I don't know if you can kind of see that here. So I do want to give him like a really good pest treatment soon. I do try to wipe down the leaves pretty frequently as well, which I do think is a major part of plant care that can get forgotten. So wipe down your leaves, be better than me about it. But yeah, I do want to go through and give him a good spray down soon, wipe down all the leaves and give him like a shower basically. And yeah, I love it so much. We've been really talking about rearranging, and when I say we, I mean me, but then my man joined in on the conversation. He's totally excited for it now, but we are going to be rearranging our living room. I'm so excited. And Harli G, I'm gonna link her channel because I feel like I've mentioned her a couple times already in this video. I'm sure you already know about her. She's fantastic. But she put out a video like this week or last week about rearranging her bedroom plants, and I was just like, we had already been talking about rearranging our living room for like a week, and I'm just, you know, I'm stuck at home all day and in my living room for a good portion of the day, just like looking at things, picturing where I want to move things and what things would look like where. And then I see her video pop up and I was just like, oh, yes. Watched it immediately and just was like, I've been jonesing so hard. Like, I just want to change things up, and I want to freshen the whole space. So I'm really excited to do that. I want to like brighten things up in here, and this guy is going to be just like the star of the show. I want to like put him in a corner and just like have him beautifully lit up, and probably put some plants around him and stuff like that. And I'm so excited. I think my boyfriend's also gonna make, ooh, that was loud, is also gonna make a new stand for this guy to sit on, so that after he has a repot and is in an even larger pot than this, that he'll be a little bit shorter, closer to the ground, because as it is now, his newest leaf is pushing on the ceiling. So he definitely needs a little bit more breathing room as far as height goes. But yeah, I'm so excited. And this plant has just been, oh, every time I look at it, I'm like, ooh, you're gonna look so good when you get in your new home. And it's just been one of those things that, like, I don't know, when you're cooped up at your home, I'm sure a bunch of you know because you're probably at home for quarantine or something like that. I worked all through the quarantine, so I never had that, but this is my version of that now. And, you know, when you're cooped up, it's nice to have something to look forward to, and change feels so good, especially when you are in your house a lot. It can just feel really stagnant, and it feels so good to just move your furniture around, move your plants around. And I've already been like slowly kind of like moving plants around a little bit here and there, just like, you know, what I can right now by myself. And it feels so good. So I love a little bit of change. I love a lot of bit of change, let's be honest. It's scary, but I love change. It's so good. Anyway, MONSTERA DELICIOSA. I'm sure everyone has one of these, as we all should, because they're fantastic. But yeah, it's just been really enjoying to me personally over this last month, and I just appreciate it. I appreciate it extra, especially for being so giant. Ooh, I actually found a picture from when, I don't think it was like right when I got it, but probably like within like 6 months after I got the plant. And I will post it here so that you can see kind of like what she looked like when I first got her, because she was not this big. No, not this big. Definitely not. So yeah, I love it. Fast grower, easy grower. Give her some light, give her some water, give her some food. She'll be happy. Easy. This is my view when I'm sitting on the ground in front of my couch, like at the computer, watching TV or whatever. And I just look up at this big old beauty, taking over the whole joint. I'm not even mad about it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video and checking out what plants have been just really jumping out to me over this last month of September. I cannot believe it's already gonna be October in just a handful of days. I'm gonna get this video out right before the beginning of October. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I had an extra week. Like, I don't know where this time has gone, and I've just been like at home for the last 2 weeks, but I don't know where the heck the time has gone. It's so crazy that we are already almost into October. I feel like I say that, or at least think it really hard every month, but yeah, time flies. Time flies like crazy. It's kind of scary, but it's a good thing too. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know what plants have been really jumping out to you lately. If it's like your, you know, your brand new plant or an oldie but a goodie, let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.